What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the current state of the NFC East and what I think it could take to win this division. Now, as a Giants fan, we've won this division with a 9-7 record. We know it's possible to make the playoffs there at 9-7 or even possibly 8-8. And this year, I think, is one of those years where 8-8 or even possibly 7-9. Now, it's a long shot. I'm not saying 7-9 is going to win this division, but it's possible when you look at these teams' remaining schedules and the way that they're currently playing. And as a Giants fan this week, I am rooting heavily for the Philadelphia Eagles to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. And a lot of people may ask why. How does that increase the Giants' chances to win this division? Because, of course, as a Giants fan, that is my rooting interest. Well, when you look at the Cowboys' schedule, you're going to agree with me. The Cowboys' remaining schedule is brutal. The Eagles' remaining schedule over the next 5 games is nothing to sneeze at either, but they finish with 4 divisional games. 4 games in which they definitely have a chance to win, and if the Giants want any chance, they will have to split one of those 2 games against the Philadelphia Eagles. Make no mistakes about it. But 7-9 could definitely win this division, which only 2 teams have ever done. 7-8-1, the Carolina Panthers in 2015, and 7-9, Seattle Seahawks in 2010. The Seahawks, of course, went on to win their division and win a playoff game against the New Orleans Saints. Now, 7-9, you're probably not winning a Super Bowl, but it would be nice to make the playoffs, right, as a Giants fan. So let's jump into these schedules and take a look at why I think 8-8 is a high probability, especially if the Dallas Cowboys were to win this week. So, we're going to start with Dallas' schedule. Dallas this week, October 20th, on Sunday Night Football, will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles at home, a game in which they are favored. They are a 3-point favorite last I checked. Now, we have to wait on the status of Amari Cooper, which, of course, could change things around. But if Cooper were to play, I think that the Dallas Cowboys stand a very good chance to win that football game. I picked the Eagles, and I still think the Eagles will win, but Dallas could definitely win. So let's say Dallas wins that game. We're going to skip the Giants game. We'll get back to that. Vikings at the Lions at the Patriots. You're coming into that after we skip the Giants game at 4-3. At best, in my opinion, 1-2. And I think we're being incredibly lenient there. I think 0-3 is a strong possibility, but at best 1-2. Vikings have the 3rd highest point differential in football. They're 5-2. They're a better football team than the Cowboys, but it is at home. So you have to give the Cowboys a fighting chance there. At the Lions, at the Patriots. I'm going to give them a split between the Vikings and the Lions, and I'll give them a loss to the Patriots. They're not going into New England and winning. Not with the way this team is playing. So we said 4-3 there, with the Eagles. When we skip the Giants, that would then bring us to 5-5. Next 3 games. We'll do next 5. We'll just do next 5. Bills at the Bears, Rams at the Eagles, Redskins. Bills right now are 4-1. They're one of the best teams in football. At the Bears, tough place to play. Rams at the Eagles. I think 2-3 is very possible there. Probable. 2-3 is probable. 1-4 is possible. 3-2 at best. So again, we'll go in the middle and say 2-3. We're going to give them the Redskins win, and we'll give them a 1 out of 4 over those 3 games. At the Eagles, at the Bears, I think should be losses, and we'll give them splits to the Bills and Rams. 2 teams who are better, and they're at home, so I'll give them a split. So if we do that, if they finish 2-3, and we said they were 5-5, that puts them at 7-8. And then the Giants game, at the Giants, a game in which the Giants will have to win if they expect to win this division. And I think it's a game the Giants definitely could win. So if the Giants were to win that game, and we'll remember that when we go over the Giants' schedule, that would put the Cowboys at 7-9. Again, not crazy to think that's possible. Right? I gave them a win home against the Vikings. I gave them a win home against either the Rams or Bills. I don't think that's crazy with the way the Cowboys are playing. I think the Cowboys, at best right now, looking at that schedule, with a win against the Eagles, a game in which I think the Eagles could easily win, and I'm actually picking the Eagles, at best 9-7. That's their ceiling with that remaining schedule. That's just facts. 8-8, very possible, probably probable, and 7-9, certainly not out of the question. So next up, we're going to go over the Philadelphia Eagles schedule. Philadelphia Eagles, like I said, we're rooting for the Cowboys this week. So we're going to go based off the assumption that the Eagles were to lose that game. They're now 3-4. Their next 4 games, if this is going to take place and the Giants actually have a chance to make the playoffs at 8-8 or even possibly 7-9, they will have to go 1-3 during that stretch. Something that is incredibly possible. At the Bills, Bears, Patriots, Seahawks. Yeah, let's say they go 1-3 there. Something very possible. Those are all very good football teams. At the Bills, Bills are 4-1, Patriots undefeated, Seahawks 5-1, and the Bears are a good defense there. So let's say they go 1-3. I think 2-2 is the best case scenario there, but let's say 1-3. You're now looking at 4-7, right? With their last 5 games coming up. 4-7. Now their last 5, they could easily win all 5, and they could easily be 5-6. They could have easily won 2-2 in that stretch. But we'll say 4-7. At the Dolphins, they're going to win. If the Giants want a chance, they're going to have to split those 2 games with the Eagles. So we'll give them a split, right? So that'll bring them to 6-8. And then at the Redskins, Cowboys. So you're looking at somewhere along the lines of an 8-8, 7-9 season if the Giants were able to split with the Eagles and they lost to the Cowboys this week, which is why I'm rooting heavily for the Dallas Cowboys. So again, 7-9, 8-8, 9-7. You're looking between 7 and 9 wins, which is why I think 8 wins is very possible and probable will take down this division. And then finally, the New York Giants remaining schedule. Giants coming in at 2-4. Cardinals, obviously a must-win. Let's say they get that win. They get the 3-4. We'll give them a loss at the Lions. In this scenario, I said if they want a chance, they're going to have to beat the Cowboys at home. We're giving them a split against the Cowboys for the year and a split against the Eagles because that's their only chance. And the way these 2 teams have played, it's not crazy to think that could happen. So we'll give them a win against the Dallas Cowboys. That's 4-5. Then we got at the Jets, Bears, Packers. Now the Jets obviously a neutral field game. I said 4-5. I'm going to give them 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3 there. I think that's fair. 1 out of 3 gets them to 5-7. They're 5-7 with their last 5-7 with their last 4 games to play. We said a split against the Eagles. That's 6-8. The Dolphins and Redskins, 2 very winnable games. So yet again, the Giants, very possible they finish right there in that 7-9 to 9-7 range, 8-8 being the middle. So I could see all 3 teams being right around 8-8, especially if the Dallas Cowboys win this year. So there you have it. I mean, when you look at these schedules, the way it breaks down, yes, could the Eagles go 10-6? Sure, but they could certainly go 7-9, and I think between 7 and 9 wins is very possible for all 3 of these teams. Of course, the Giants would have to win some divisional matchups in this scenario, but they could. They definitely could beat the Cowboys. The Jets just beat them, so why couldn't the Giants? And why couldn't they get a split against the Philadelphia Eagles the way the Eagles have played? So if the Giants were able to take care of business in the division, win home against the Cowboys, win home against the Eagles, I think you're looking at a 7-9 or 8-8 division winner. 8-8 being the most likely scenario. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. This week will be a big tell as to how the rest of the season may break down in this division. But yeah, Giants fans, this week, obviously, we need a win. And in my opinion, you're rooting for a Cowboys victory. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.